guys, welcome back to the channel. I was going to do a little update video on the Talon here. Ended up parting out the white car that we got as a spare parts car. I'm going to show you what I took off that white car, what we're going to be putting on this car, and then we'll start tearing this one apart and putting some of these parts on there. So one of the things I got was this full 3-inch exhaust with a, let's see what brand this is. Pipes resonator, and then it has a manifold muffler. We're going to cut that tip off and we'll weld, I'll show you. We're going to weld this tip on there so it'll have the factory look with the dual tip. Hey chickens. So we'll put these on. So here's the other one of the other parts we took off, the exhaust manifold for the turbo. It's coated now, so we got rid of the rusty look and junky look that was on there. So we got that off, and then this is not off the other car. This is a brand new turbo we're putting on. It's a big wheel 16G that we'll put on the car with the new manifold. This is a part that I'll probably save for later. I don't know if I'm going to use it yet. Just a street disc ACT clutch. It was in really good condition. I saved the 16G TD05, just a small wheel one, but I saved it because this is a Mitsubishi turbo and there's no shaft play in it, so it's still in really good condition. So we're going to save that and clean it up and just have it as a spare. Kept the crank that was in the trunk of the white car. This is the old exhaust housing. Kept it for souvenir or, you know, just a pile of junk parts. Saved this piece off there. I saved the elbow too off the turbo. I'm not sure if this one's bigger than the one that's on the car now, so I'm going to compare them when I get the other one off and see if this one's got the bigger opening versus the one that's on the car right now, which is stock, I believe. So we'll compare those two. And then we saved all of these. So we got the 4-bolt rear axles, and I took the little hubs off so you can swap over from the 3-bolt to the 4-bolts easily. The transfer case is in here, in good condition, no cracks, had good looking fluid in it. And then the front axles, of course, and then the little intermediate shaft. And then we saved the spare block that was in the car, the spare cylinder head, and the 5-speed transmission out of the 92. So I have the Talon right now on the jack stands. We'll pop the hood. We'll start taking the turbo off, take the exhaust off, and we'll get it ready to put on our new turbo manifold and our new turbo on this one. So before I take it off, here's the stock exhaust, and that's why I got that tip. I wanted to maintain the stock factory look. This is a completely stock diameter exhaust, even has the cat, all the resonators. So we'll get that off and get it a little more free flowing. We'll go ahead and pop the hood. So we are pulling off this homemade, I think this is the stock manifold that somebody welded on their own flange for an external wastegate. So we're taking that off. The external wastegate will go away. We're going back internal wastegate. We'll save the intake tube pipe and we'll put a filter on it because there's no filter on it currently. We'll save this pipe, put the turbo inlet, the exhaust housing. This elbow is the one that I want to compare to the one that I have. I'm not sure if that's the stock diameter or not. I know they make a bigger one, so we'll compare the two and we'll use whichever one has the bigger opening. So we'll get all that off, and I'll start by taking off this wastegate if I can, if these bolts aren't all seized up. Get the wastegate and the dump tube off, and then we'll take off the cold side pipe, get this pipe off the turbo, and then start removing the turbo. Alright, so I was able to get all these loose, so I'll take the wastegate off with the dump tube first, and we'll show you how that looks when it's off. And we'll see what kind of welds are in there and see what kind of wastegate path this turbo had, if it was even efficient or not. But yeah, all 4 of these are loose now, so I'll get this one off. Put this here so maybe you can see. No, I'll go ahead and take it off, and we'll be right back. All right, so I got all 4 of the bolts off. I'm gonna go ahead and pull it off, and let's see what the welds look like together. All right, so that last bolt's still in there. Let's pull this off. There's a wastegate with the dump tube. Looks like it had a slight leak there. We'll set that down here. So, not terrible. Looks decent. Still not a fan of it. I just don't like the way it looks. This elbow does look a little smaller than the other one. But next I'm gonna pull this pipe off, take these 2 bolts out right here, and then we'll take this clamp off and get it disconnected from the cold pipe. All right, so we got the 2 bolts off, got the clamp loosened, pull out this cold pipe, and we're gonna reuse this, so we'll save it. The new turbo came with new gaskets, so we don't necessarily need this. Looks good in there, no oil, no sign of oil. I'm not sure yet. I haven't taken off the intake tube. I don't know if this is actually a big wheel 16G or not. It is a 16G as well, but I wanted to go all new. So let's get, I think what we're gonna work on next is getting the whole exhaust off. All right, so what we're gonna work on next is getting this exhaust pipe off. There's a little bit of oil here. It's coming from this oil pressure sensor, which I bought a new one. So we'll get all that resealed up. But we're gonna take this exhaust pipe all the way back completely off, get all the hangers off, oxygen sensors off, and just pull it down. And then I will do that off camera and show it to you and put it next to the other exhaust for comparison. All right, so I'm under the car, got the exhaust off. These 2 bolts came out pretty easy. Got the oxygen sensor out of the bung. And then we are going to remove the rest of the exhaust. A couple hangers in the back. So we'll get that off and compare it to the new one. All right, about 5-10 minutes of struggling with the 500 exhaust hangers that are on this exhaust. Was able to pull it off, so we're gonna go ahead and drag it out and put it next to the other one. All in one piece. There she is. Stock muffler, stock cat, and stock flex pipe. So let's put these two side by side and we'll compare them. Well, good news is they're pretty much the same length. These bends are a little different, so we'll have to see what it looks like when we get it under the car. But you can see I can pretty much wrap my fingers around it within a couple. Actually, here you go. I can touch my fingers around this one, and around this one I'm far away. So definitely a big difference in size. Get rid of this restrictive cat. EPA, if you're watching, I live in Mexico. So we'll get all this off, and yeah, I'm excited to hear what it sounds like. All right, so we're back up front now to work on the turbo a little more. Let's get this intake tube off and try to pull the manifold off. All right, the intake pipe is off. And that's a pretty nice TD05, actually. Nice. It's a big wheel as well. But I didn't really know the condition of it, so I just got a different one. No shaft plate whatsoever. Really good condition turbo. But the internal wastegate was gone. Somebody welded this stock flapper and then added this. So that is the reason behind removing all of this. So we'll get the oil line off and we'll go ahead and get it pulled off. All right, a little progress. We got this coolant hose line off. We got the oil feed line disconnected from this bolt here. I don't know if the new turbo comes with a new bolt, but we'll keep the old bolt. that line's disconnected. This one goes to the back of the turbo coolant line. This one goes to the top oil feed line. And then this one goes on the bottom. We'll have to see where that goes, but I think I have them all disconnected. I think I have every line that goes to the turbo loose. So we'll go ahead, and I also got the drain pipe that reconnects to the oil pan. So I got all those off. So we'll start taking off these manifold bolts and see if the manifold will come off. All right, so we got all the manifold bolts off all the way around, top and bottom. One stud stayed in, two studs stayed in. So it's loose. Let's get it out. All right, let's get this out. Loose. What are we stuck on? Still got one line? No, that line's all gone. Oh, it's the drain line. All right, that one's off. I think we got one more line over here. All right, I think we got it all out. Yeah, baby. There we go. The whole assembly in one. All right, so we got everything out. We got the turbo here on the ground. And then, you know, nothing here anymore. It's just a big old hole ready for the new turbo. So I'm gonna flip the camera around and we can look inside the head, look in here and see what lines need to be replaced. And we'll go from there. All right, so it looks like a stock head, no port match, which is fine. Got a little bit of a leaking oil down here. I think the banjo bolts on the stock turbo were kind of loose, but we'll clean all this up and get it prepared for the new turbo. All right, so I got the mating surface on the head all cleaned up. What I'm gonna end up doing is transferring some of these lines to the new turbo, and I think I'm gonna try to mount it as an assembly, kind of like how we took this one out. We'll compare this elbow real quick. But yeah, we'll just get all this off and put the new turbo assembly together. All right, so comparing the two housings here, if you see this one, I can fit my finger in between the bottom of this flange and this flange. There's a gap here, so meaning this pipe is a smaller diameter than this one, because here it's all part of the casting, so the elbow is a lot bigger. So we're probably going to end up using this one. The opening does look quite bigger, a lot more free-flowing than this smaller one. Definitely a smaller diameter here on this opening. Sorry about the barking dogs. And even this side here is very thin compared to this side. Definitely a little fatter. So we'll use this one for sure. So, all right, so we're going to conclude today's video by just showing you the disassembly part, and then we'll make a next video. We'll put the new turbo together with the manifold and just put it all back together. But for now, it's disassembled, turbo's off, exhaust is off. Next video, yeah, we'll put it right back in. Thank you for watching. There's ketchup, and then still got the next project we're going to work on is the Taurus. That's for a different video back there. I got a sneak peek, but I'll share some details on that. And then we still got my son's Conquest here that's eventually going to get a K-Series swap. Let me show you those over here, and I'll show you Ketchup's engine bay. So here's Ketchup, still living, still running strong. It's been about 4 or 5 years since I built it. So I built 2JZ with Eagle 65 rods, diamond pistons from Induction Performance. Got the GSC Stage 2 cams, the BorgWarner S369 turbo, 3.5-inch exhaust from the turbo all the way to the back, no muffler, no resonator. It's been running strong, making a little over 900 horsepower still to this day. Then back here in the pile of spare parts for the 4G63, we have a K24. That is the K24 from Japan, I guess they call it. It's the RBB head. It's got VTEC on both cams versus the US K24. Yeah, so we'll put this in my son's car, get rid of the stock intake manifold, do a different rear-wheel drive intake manifold. We'll plan on doing a turbo setup. And then over here, let me show you what we got. What we decided, we were going to go with a CD009, and we decided to go with the S2000 transmission for ease of install. And also the size of this transmission is a lot smaller than the CD009, so it'll be able to fit in the transmission tunnel a lot better. So yeah, that's the plan for my son's car. And catch up. We'll have to do a video on catch up soon. Thanks for watching, and come back for the next episode where we put the turbo back on. Thanks. Bye.